All I'm going to say.
I'm off.
Okay, well we can jump into it then. Since we're all here now, unless there's anything anyone wanted to talk about or bring up. Okay.
No.
Okay, so if someone would like to remind us all where we left off in the last game.
Keck and Hezekiah went to help this dwarf that was stood down in like a graveyard memorial sort of thing.
Oh,
Completely missing the fact that Block above table was saying, "Wasn't that me that did that?" And yeah, we tried to deal with him. The twin thing with meeting Voltron Manyface Dawn and needing to go to Vale.
Yep.
And then we went out onto the bridge where Keck decided to keck his pants and hid away and left everyone else trying to deal with it because, you know, he does not like big birds and this is his childhood trauma.
So that is exactly where we left off. You are currently all in the middle of this bridge spanning between two different mountain ranges. there is a thick mist surrounding you all. You are unable to see anything below you. Sky above.
So the last thing I wanted to do at the end of last session was fly down to where that the first dwarf who was abducted and fell and dropped, where he would have gone, to see if I can find his body and try to pick it up if I can.
Okay. In that case, can we start off as you go down? Roll a perception check, and do it at disadvantage because it is all very
Okay.
exactly where he went.
Now, on one hand, I think the eagle has advantage on visibility-based perception checks, so that'll just come out normal.
Okay. Yep. Just a one single roll then. In that case.
Yep. On perception.
Okay.
Nice.
So you start to descend down into the mist, and for a long time you're just going down and down, many feet, dozens of feet, hundreds of feet, and then the mist starts to clear, and you see a frozen landscape below you. You see trees, you see a frozen river, lots of rock formations, and you recall roughly where the dwarf fell, and you start to scan the area. And after a few minutes, you do spot in a slight clearing a broken, destroyed body of the dwarf.
Um, am I able to lift it? If the giant owl could lift it, then probably I can too.
Okay. So the owl would be bigger. Yes. So you get the dwarf body in your claws and your talons, and you lift up and you start to make your way back up again. And after a few minutes, you come back up to the height of the bridge, and you relocate where you are to where it is, and you reach this dead dwarf clutched in your grasp.
Mm-hmm. So if I'm up at like the bridge elevation once again, these guys, they have a cart, right? Is it like about where either of those two people are? Or three?
You have a cart. You have a cart. The dwarves did not have a cart. They were just walking.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we were talking about what would happen if one was going each way.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They were heading in the same direction as you, so there was no conflict in that regard. But
Okay. Okay, so I have come up and I'm flying, like, let's say, just over here with the body. Do these guys have any reaction to seeing another giant bird of prey with their dead friend's body?
so you changed while they were all there. They are aware that you transformed into that. So they're not too surprised by that. They look startled for a moment as you reappear, but because you were following the bridge, you came up a little bit further away and you started making your way. They have had time to collect themselves, and you see the one dwarf is sort of laying down, well, not laying down. He's sort of sitting upright against the side of the bridge, against the chains. He's got his hand against his shoulder where it's just torn open. Another one of the dwarves is stood next to him and is just applying, looks like bandages around the area. They look up just as you're arriving, and you see the dwarf who ran at the owl with the big warhammer sword. By the anvil, you returned it, Andrew. And he moves forward, and as you put the dwarf down, he picks up and lifts the dwarf into his arms, so he's sitting upright, and you watch as he moves the hair across from his face. And he drops his head in sorrow and closes his eyes. And he just lays him back and turns to you as the eagle. I want to tell you how much we appreciate you returning to us. Would have been a shame to have lost his body. Now he can be returned and properly.
I transform back, say it's the least I could do, and return to my group in my elf form.
You see these other two dwarves that sort of look up, and as you walk past, they sort of bow their head to you. And the one who's all wounded, you can hear him, he's just letting out some yelps of pain. Careful, careful. Very tender.
Can I walk to the dwarf with the torn shoulder?
Mhm.
And just look at him and just gently place a hand on his shoulder over the wound, and just
Mhm.
quietly mutter almost to myself, "I don't know how well this will work," and I'll try and cast lay on hands. He's trying to heal his wound.
So you go to do that, and the dwarf laying down, or sitting up, sorry, he's just wincing stuff, and then a little bit of that pain sort of leaves his face, and he rolls his shoulder and his arm, just feeling, that's a lot better. It's not great. Yeah, it's a lot better. Thank you. Sorry. A weird way to meet. What's your name?
My name is Romok. And yes, I do wish we were meeting under better circumstances.
He throws up his hand to yours.
You
He
know,
goes to
grasp
grab.
him. And if he's willing, I'll pull him up to his feet if that's what he's indicating.
You pull him to his feet, and the dwarf next to him is also sort of there helping him up. Hey, right there, Dabba. Yeah, that's my shoulder. But Romok's help here. That's better. It's better. But I don't know how I feel about continuing with it like this, though. But see, they managed to bring Gundren back. I could take him back. And the other two dwarves look at him. You need all of us. This is expecting it to go this way. And they take a moment, stepping out and looking out off the side of the bridge. Well, we can't leave Gundren. We will have to take it back. Dabba, do you think with your shoulder, you take him back to that problem? Not that far. Dabba turns and he looks down at him. You see sadness in his face. He's just taking in the sight of the dwarf in front of him. I'll take him. Gwenrin will need to see him. Should be returned to him. The other dwarves move over and they put their hands on his shoulder. Wish you could come with us. And the dwarf you now know as Dabba. You should come too. I can't do it yourself. And they just turn back to him and say, we have to. There's people who rely on us. We'll sort it. Don't worry. And they all as collectively nod, move over to the fallen dwarf, and they carefully pick him up. And Deba moves back and lowers himself slightly to allow them to position this broken dwarf across his back. He carefully, now putting him across his shoulders, turns and he looks at all of you. Thank you once again for your help. The owl would have taken me. But at least it was only one of us who was lost. If you don't mind, I need to get past your car. And return him to the town. And he starts to move towards you. And
Yeah, can we kind of like shivvy it to the side a little?
the cart has got very little movement in here, so you can start to shift it to the side. There's very little clearance.
Maybe
what
we
you
just
see
put
is
a
the other-
box down so it climbs over the top.
The other dwarfs sort of move up and they move to the side of Daba, and they start to lift him as he gets next to your car and just try and help push him up over it. And it's a little bit awkward, but he managed to find steady footing and just makes his way over. And jumps down the other side and looks back for a moment, nods to the other dwarves, and starts to step off and in the opposite direction down the bridge, back where you've been. The remaining two dwarves turn to each other, throw a hand to each other's shoulders, and they nod. Turn to you. We really appreciate your help. Thank you. And have good journeys. Continue without so tragic events as we've just had. They turn and he goes to pick up his big warhammer and he slings it to his shoulder. And they turn and they start to move in the direction down the bridges.
I am sorry about your friend.
Yeah, we did what we could. Well, most of us.
Yeah. As a great man. Mentor to a lot of us. Always pushed us to be better hunters. Can't think of any dwarf who didn't respect him. He will be missed.
Yeah. Well, keep an eye out on the rest of the short journey back, and stay safe. And you know,
Oh,
did you? Quick
we're,
question: was there any more people over on the other side?
and he stops talking. Well, we're going that way. And he points to the direction which you're traveling.
Oh yeah, they're going forward, aren't they?
Yeah.
But...
And says, fortunately, our journey will not be without incident. We're on a hunt. Now, two down. It's
hunt?
going to be. Yes.
Who are you hunting? Or what?
Hunting? Not who, but what. Fortunately, we've had ports come in. Some creatures torn apart. The dwarves who were out hunting on excursions. The other side of the bridge. Not sure exactly what it is, but so far we've had to have anyone return back. They try to seek what's happening. We know the area where it's likely to be, but yeah, we're running a little short now, so fate may not be quite on our side as it once was. But we have to go for it regardless.
Yeah, like what sort of things? Like any unique things of whatever's doing this?
Well, we did have some reports. Well, we know found bodies horribly damaged, large wounds, and to be honest, I can only think of a few things that could have created such damage.
And you're
He thinks
sure
it
these
might be-
are
He thinks it
creatures?
might be an owlbear or something like that. I think it's worse than that. I'm more inclined towards something a bit more fierce.
And you're sure they're a creature and not something else?
I have seen wounds of animals before. This did seem like animalistic attack.
Well, I
To be
mean,
honest,
you've seen my friend turn into an animal. Perhaps it's someone doing that.
I don't know. See,
I'd imagine you're fairly familiar with the wildlife in the area.
that's the thing. Yes, exactly. As hunters, we are quite versed with what's around here. And when we found the bodies, I mean, it was 3 of our own seasoned hunters torn to pieces in the high passes, but it wasn't wolves, it wasn't mountain cats neither. Wounds were too deep, and the bodies frozen stiff with looks of pure horror on their faces. And in my opinion, there's only one thing in these parts that does that. Yetis. And you see next to him just shake his head. No, not a chance. They're up much higher up the mountain. They wouldn't.
What do you think it is?
Well, I do think it's Yeti. He thinks it's not. And
Right.
he next to him goes, no, owlbears. It's got to be a herd of owlbears or something. Even one giant one. Who knows?
No, what's the thing that you think it is? Come on.
Well, I think Gundrum was in agreement with me on Yeti.
You say they don't come down this far, but perhaps maybe something new has arrived further up, or something has pushed them down. Maybe they're scared.
They don't normally act this way, yeah. So if they have come down the mountain, maybe something has pushed them down. It's hard to say. It's not something we'll know until we encounter it and get to investigate further.
If you are hunting a Yeti, though, you don't seem too confident in your abilities, should I say? You say it's still it with season ones as it is, and now you're a couple of men down.
2 down, unfortunately. Could be worse. It could just be myself.
Would it not be worth regrouping and going to get more hunters?
Well, The order came down from the top, from the Lord of the Mountain himself. We have to take the threat out right now. The Lord commands. We must follow.
You have no scope for backup.
Well, we're unable to bring the Yeti down. Or Alba, at least our bodies may prove further aid to prove what may have brought our doom. The next hunting party might be more successful. But we're not going to turn. And you can see there is a steely determination in his eye. He does look, although he is a little wary of their ability, he does look confident in himself. And he's quite a broad dwarf. He is older than the other one next to him. He's got these sort of thick black beard and sharp, calculating eyes. And he does look like he would pack a bit of a punch against something. The other dwarf is not quite as old, but does have a lot of jagged scar on his face. You can see that he has encountered things in the past that left a mark on him. Two of them are kitted out. I mean, they do have tools on them. See that the other dwarf has like crossbow slung across his back. He's got a lot of rope across his chest as well. The other one is obviously carrying a large war hammer and small hand axes.
Would you give us a moment? We're going that way anyway. Obviously, we're on our own business, but maybe we can potentially help you out.
I was going to
The
say,
two dwarfs look at each other, and like they're in a moment, contemplating that for a second. You take your minute. We'll just wait here.
Right.
Because as the conversation's been going on, Kek's probably re-emerged from his shell at this point as well.
Come out of your shell, or are you still in it?
He's come out of it.
Okay. Well, look, I know we're heading that way. Does it sound like... Yeah. Everyone say how much time we've already wasted. Is it our place to do more to help them?
My thinking is, if we've saved their life and they're going to go and die anyway, why have we saved their life? We might as well not help them.
Well, this one didn't help them, did he? I point to Kek. What's he going to do against the Yeti? If he hides at the birds.
He's going to hide from everything.
Exactly.
That's not true. If it's on the ground, it's fine. I'm not... It's been...
Well,
I just don't do well with flying things that are bigger than me. Didn't have a very good experience as a young one.
Right.
When
So, I know.
Go on, Jesper, you first.
I know how this is going to go. We'll sit here and debate, but Romok's going to run off all willy-nilly to help them anyway. He is a bit of a goody two-shoes. And we'll just have to follow him and make sure he doesn't get hurt.
I mean, we are in this area where the dwarves know best. It might not hurt to help them, and they might be able to help us in return.
They seem fairly capable, know the area well. We need to make up some ground. Maybe we can see if they know any shortcuts through the passes that we may be able to follow. suppose,
I mean,
in exchange for their help.
My thinking is this might not be an actual creature, and it might be the people we're after who have, caused chaos. And we saw what they did in the tower. They strung people up and absolutely obliterated them. Oh, you weren't there. So the people we're hunting down, they killed an entire watchtower of guards.
my.
I heard Romrock's discussed.
It's a possibility that this thing, this beast, may be tied to that we are seeking in the two figures. But if it's not, then we are at risk of losing more time and falling further behind those who we are tracking.
I mean, guys,
in my mind, it's worth investigating. If it turns out to be fruitful. But if not,
we waited
it's
a day for a sword
on our course.
Kind of hearing the mention of the sword, then Kex gonna go. I mean, Jasper, one good term deserves another. If we help these dwarves, you never know, word may get back to the same smiths that made your fine blade there, and it might earn us some respect and gratitude.
Well, yeah. Listen, if everyone wants to go, I'll come along. That's fine. Yeah.
Look, Jasper,
I'm limited by traveling with you anyway.
I feel a lot safer with you there, and we can take it down a lot easier, kill it, and move on,
Let's speak to the guys. If it's not too far off our path, then I suppose we could help them track the monster down. I suppose that would be the compromise.
Yeah, let's do it.
The two dwarfs are just a little way away, just be talking to each other quietly. Casting a glance back at you.
Pick up the car and sort of walk up towards them. Right, we've decided we'll travel that way with you for a bit. Tell me, whereabouts is this creature hunting?
Well, we believe it. We believe it to be not that far away, down near the Howling Ridge. It's an old hunting ground we know well. If the Yetis have set up there, we'll find them.
It's not too far away. You can have our assistant. You're short in number anyway. You could do with the help.
The other dwarf turns to you. It's not more than a few hours. Once we get off the bridge, we head past the tower and we head south, down the slopes.
Weren't we heading to the tower?
I think the tower's a landmark. I think we're walking past this one. Remember. That's fine.
The tower you were told is a prison.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but...
Yeah, so if we're going past the tower, maybe we could use these guys to get us in the tower first, and then help them afterwards.
They may be more willing to help us if we take out the creature first. As part of the reward to get us in.
Maybe.
Okay. So if we help you take out this creature, you say it's a direct order from the Lord of the Mountain.
Yeah, it is.
We'd like to get into the tower, the prison, and some questions in there.
Both dwarfs at the same time look up with confusion in their face. You want to get to the tower? Why? Business do you have in the tower? You have someone in there?
Not us. We're also hunting something, and we're concerned they might be going in that direction to perhaps break someone out.
No. See. Well, it'll be well defended, I can tell you that. Can't say I've ever heard of anyone breaking anyone out. Don't take that crime lightly here in Herdogas. Generally, the punishments are severe and lasting. But I mean, we could take you to the tower if you want.
We just need to do a bit of asking around and try and find out a few things while we're there. Nothing too intrusive.
Would be passing it, so shouldn't take too long as you're just checking things out.
Happily help you with your task first, and then we can enter on the way back in.
Well, it's up to you. We all appreciate the help. Well, if that's decided, shall we move on? He gestures down the bridge.
Yeah, I'll get back on my goat and kind of get ready.
I'll come back on the cart and continue riding in beast.
So you all mount up once again on the cart, and you start to head on forwards. The two dwarves are now keeping your pace and sort of lightly jogging across the bridge ahead of you. So you're pretty much at the same speed you were, not quite, but with the chocobo pulling the cart. A little bit slower, but you're still going, decent speed. And after sort of 5 minutes, you do get to the end of the Argon Bridge. And you can see we're now on the other side. It's a similar setup as you had on the other side with the stone monuments, or the stone structure which the bridge feeds into and connects to. And then after that, you see a familiar looking path, the same as you'd seen previously, heading off towards the east. It'll be just this way. The dwarves continue forward. And again, after about 10 minutes, you see a shape appearing up on the horizon to your left, up the side, slightly, an incline side on this side of this mountain. You can see what looks like the outline of a tower. which looks very tall, very dark. So it's made of apparently some dark stone, which stands out in stark contrast, obviously, to the white of the mountain and the clouds around you. The dwarves come to a stop, and you see that there is a turn off from the path here, another path leading down to the side. The dwarves turn to you, and the first one points at the tower. The tower is right there, and we'd have to continue the path onwards to get there. However, the hunting grounds are this way. He points to this other side path.
Well, take us down to the hunting grounds first. We'll
Right.
see if we can help you with your problem.
Not to interrupt here, Jasper, but if beasts are killing the hunters on the hunting grounds, they do not have a time frame, or they will not go anywhere. Our time frame is a bit more strict. If they are already here at the tower, we might want to check the tower first and double back for the hunting grounds later.
Yeah, maybe just check they haven't had any problems or anything, and then, you know.
Exactly. Would that be alright with you, Mr. Dwarf?
Yeah, what's like
The
the
dwarf-
distance between like the cut off, like the two paths? I take it.
It looks like it could be sort of a half a mile, maybe a mile away from where you are. But it's going up an incline at the side of the mountain, starting to head up again. The dwarves look and say, "We could take you there if you'd like. It's up to you.
Well, I
But
mean,
we
if
will
they're
have
willing.
to back the hunt at some point."
Well, yeah, I mean, if we just want to check that the tower's safe, you know. I
And the
imagine
dwarf nods to you and
you also
takes a
want
step,
to.
take a step towards the path which you want to go towards the tower. Well, if this is your wish, we can take you. Would you like us to go towards the tower?
Yes, please. Let's go that way.
The dwarfs immediately start their jog and head up towards the tower. And so after a little bit, you watch the towers get closer and closer. And eventually you find yourself... Go on.
I was gonna say, is there room in the car?
Your car is probably full, I would say.
Well, I mean, I'm in the goat, on the goat. So like, there's one more. You know, there's a free seat.
Okay, there would be a free seat in the cart.
Well, I've just been like, obviously we were all in there before.
If it comes to it, Romont can cast Find Steed.
From the look of the dwarves, they don't seem to mind running.
Okay.
They're not put off by it, and they seem to not even look like they're struggling with their stamina. The dwarves keep pace ahead of you, and after a little while, they come to a stop. There's a tower there in front of you, and you see the tower itself is sitting on the edge of a drop-off, almost like a moat around it. there is just this expanse of void, just dropping down, a crack in the mountain almost, as it circles around the base of the tower. Where you're standing, you can see that the path comes to a stop next to almost like a little archway, and you can see on the complete opposite side to you, which is not that far really, it's maybe sort of 30, 40 foot back, it looks like there is a drawbridge, which is raised up at the moment, so there is no passage across. On the other side, there is a small wall around the base of the tower as well, and you see a few dwarves start to come into view. And then a few more dwarves, a few more, and eventually you see there is a line of at least 20 dwarves, all fully armored, and just standing, staring at you. You watch as a few more start to come out from a higher up level, which also has an area, walkway around. You can see this is a stepped tower. It goes up as it gets smaller, it goes up, and you see there is a walkway on each level. And on each level, you start to see dwarves appearing. And the dwarves on these higher up levels of the tower move towards the edge and pull out crossbows and aim it at you.
Well, seems
A
like
dwarf-
someone's home.
A dwarf starts to, you assume, must be walking up steps because he's starting to get taller and higher than the other dwarves, until he comes to a stop, like a few heads above everyone else. And he shouts across to you, "Who goes? What business do you have here?"
Hello. We come from. Someone find the name of the person we're speaking to.
Talk.
Torcumber. We're here to make sure that you've had no trouble.
And why would Tor send you? You're not of the mountain looking at the rabble ahead of me. Only one of you seems like you may fit, and you're not exactly outfitted as we.
We are hunting dangerous folk.
We have many dangerous folk here. A lot of them are currently aiming at you.
We're on the same side here.
Maybe, but it's hard to tell at the moment.
Well, we're not
What
aiming
is your
weapons
bus-
at you.
But we are aiming them at you.
Yeah, I can
And
see
we will
that.
remain to until
Yeah.
we are set aside.
We don't plan on staying long. We'll just. You haven't had any attempted break-ins or outs?
You watch as there's like this little ripple of chuckles happening. The dwarf leans forward. We are quite safe. No one has entered here without our knowledge. Is that all you wish to inquire about?
May I ask, has anyone entered with your knowledge in the last couple of days?
We always have a trickle of people now and then, chances. The odd trader who tries their luck. But in the last few days, only one, I think.
One.
Only one in the last few days, yes.
And Are they still there to this day?
Of course they are. Once you're here, you're here.
Kind of looking at the others like, do we think maybe these guys that you are following are good at disguises and trickery? Anyone?
I mean, if they're all safe, then we can just go.
But as I just said, they've had one person come into the tower.
Well, there were
Okay.
2 of them.
Okay.
What can you tell us of this traveller who passed through?
Are you shouting that across?
Yeah.
Yeah. The dwarf shouts back. Wasn't a traveller, a local, and a bit too much, but a bit too handsy, and is here now for the duration.
So the one person you've had is just another temporary prisoner, should we say?
I don't know about temporary, but yes.
And you've had no one attempt to breach or break out or anything along those lines?
As I said before, no one has gotten in here. It is impossible.
I know you say it's impossible, but is it impossible?
And you watch as he clicks his fingers and there's a volley of arrows are suddenly released. And you watch as you realize on all these levels, there were so many dwarfs which were packed up and facing out. There is at least 30 arrows now heading in your direction. And you watch for a moment in horror as these arrows all clatter into base of this the edge of the side of the this precipice just below you. We know how to take care of ourselves here. No one gets in here
Look,
unless we let.
we know that, all right. You know, we're just doing. Look, I spoke with Lord Gorshin about a week ago. We're just checking up on a lead, all right.
Well, there's no leads here as far as I'm aware. Now, I suggest you make your way back, either to Herdogus or back to the port, wherever you're going.
We're still on a hunt, so we won't be, but we'll go.
And best you get back to it.
So rude.
And you watch the dwarves don't do anything. They're all completely stationary, facing out at you. You watching as the dwarves up each level seem to have just finished reloading the crossbows and now reposition and point back down at you. The dwarf shouts back, "You are watched."
Can I send a message to the speaker?
Hmm?
I'll just. It's a dwarf. What's your name, good sir?
You get a message come back in your head. You think it fine to just talk without everyone here. I will give you this and nothing more. Belkrin.
How do you spell?
Belkrin.
Belkin. Okay. I will message one more again, and I'll say, well, Belkin, I may be calling a Belrin, Belkrin. Okay, I may be calling you. If we can't find our suspect.
You get a message back. Don't.
Okay, what's he gonna do about it?
Well, that could have gone better. Is
Someone breaks out of his prison to prove him wrong now.
is your friend up there always that accommodating?
He's not my friend.
I'm talking more to the other dwarves that are with us.
The dwarves are standing back. They never actually approach too close. Stay behind your cart.
Okay.
They're not even looking fussed by it. And they turn sober. You see they've got their arms crossed. Yep. You won't get much out of them. They have one job, and they do it.
All right. Well, we'll get back on the hunt, I guess, and try and keep going. Where are we going?
So the dwarves start to lead you back down the path and to there was a divergence. You spend the next hour traveling down this path before it kind of comes to an end. The dwarves turn to you. It's not far. It's not far from here. Maybe half an hour, maybe an hour. But you may struggle with the current from here.
Will the animals be safe?
You string them up. He points to a tree. Keep them secure. And what's your
Right. Well, we'll do that, and I'll put a little alarm spell around them, just so that I know if anything comes to come and eat them or something.
Have we come to a stop, did we say? Or are we still moving while this is happening?
You have come essentially to a stop because the path has come to an end and it's now completely wild.
Could Keck kind of come into this natural stop, kind of walk to the front of what is essentially our little travelling pack? He's going to kneel down and place a hand on the ground and just cast Eyes of the Grave, which will allow him to know if there's any undead within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover and that isn't protected from any divination magic. Just as an extra precaution. Feet. Yeah, 60 feet, yeah. And it lasts for... Does it last for a long time? No, I think it's just a one-off thing that happens.
Okay. Cast that. Is there anything visually that people will see when you're casting this, or...?
They'd probably just like see little, if anything, like little eruptions, kind of like the ground just having a little shake, as if like sand on a speaker, kind of like jittering about as it kind of zips off outwards.
You'll see Keck put his hand to the snow, and a moment later, the snow just starts to jump. Little bits, flakes, puffs of snow just jumping all around for a moment. Almost like a ripple emanating from the center point of his hand. for 60, and you get absolutely no sense of any undead.
Okay. So I like stand up and go, ah, well, we're at least safe and only can have to fear the living for now.
Yeah. Let me do this little spell around the. I'm gonna quicken it, so it'll only take a minute, but I'll put the alarm spell around them.
You cast alarm. You decide obviously Chocobo's up to a nearby tree, and cast your alarm
And
in
the
there.
goat.
And yeah, it's in place. You can sense the spell.
Okay. Right. Shall we get a move on?
The dwarves nod to each other, and
Cool.
a more burly dwarf, one with the war, turns to the other one. Overrun. Take point. And the other dwarf nods to him and starts to scout ahead. You watch as he's now starting to look around, and he seems to be assessing all the terrain around him, looking for signs. Essentially, he's trapped, and they begin to move forwards. After about half an hour, 40 minutes, come to a stop. The dwarf who you heard being called over and turns back. I think it's here. Something up ahead. Disturb the air.
How far would you
Well,
say kind of travelled in that 40 minutes?
How far would you have gotten? It's how far can you get in 40 minutes? Hang on. It would be roughly maybe a mile, maybe two. It's hard to say because you've been sort of slowly going and sort of stopping here
Yeah.
and there. But you've not gone a massive amount. You have travelled down slightly and started to come into a bit of a valley, whereas going up the other side as well, and you're now moving into this space, this valley between. So the first dwarf points at some disturbed snow ahead, and there seems to be an imprint in it. Here, the beast's mark, print. Can't be far. And the other dwarf nods, turns around. We should try and be quiet as we can now. We will head over it. You watch the dwarf pull back his crossbow from his back, and, prepares it. Bolt now in place, and he's now he's dropped down low. He's starting to slink forward. The thicker dwarf pulls his warhammer, and he also drops a bit lower, starts to move forward, following where Overrun is going.
Guess go like do a little prayer to himself, cast guidance on himself as he does it, and kind of follow suit.
Guidance in itself. Oh yes. Can I get guidance too?
It's concentration.
Yeah. I guess that won't.
I could do oh no, I don't. I don't actually have bless. I got bane.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't think you want to be baned.
It might help.
I've got a -1.
I'll just mage armor. I probably already did it today, but didn't put a spell slot, so. And then yeah, I'll just follow on.
Okay. You find yourselves now sitting in the center of this valley between two mountain ranges. Up ahead, as you start to move through the trees, you can see rock cliff faces just to the side, just leading up. Looks like you're now almost on the ascent, the other side of the mountain. The dwarf at the front turns and pushes his hand forward, indicating to continue forward with it. Starts just carefully and gingerly, the dwarf following in his footsteps. And you can see you are now going uphill once again, the other side. There he is.
How far do you think it is?
The dwarf turns and raises a finger to his mouth. The other one turns as well and shrugs his shoulders and shakes it. And starts to quietly move.
I'll kind of hang back, but now I'm not amazingly stealthy.
The dwarves slowly start moving forward.
Jasper, go on.
You see, he suddenly comes to a stop.
Oh.
You watch as he turns to you all, and he taps his fingers towards his eyes. He points up. There's a hill which is running up here between these two rocky outcroppings, so the side of the outcropping, leading up to this walkway hill here, leading up. And he points, and he shows one finger, count it to indicate counting one.
I'll turn around, but sorry, I don't know your hand signal. Does that mean you think there's one up there?
How loudly are you saying that?
Loud enough that anyone within range can easily hear, and it probably echoes through a little bit.
Shit.
Were you attempting to be stealthy in any way?
No, I just sort of rambled up. He was making signs. I was like, "What does that mean?"
So, as you roll that through, the dwarf suddenly look at you, their eyes wide open, and you can see that they look notably pissed off and annoyed at you for a second, and then suddenly their eyes turn to horror as there's this screeching bellow from up the hill. The dwarf turns, points his crossbow, and releases a bolt as the other dwarf rushes forward in front of him. He pulls back after this. And the dwarf turns to you, "Now you've done it. You never hunted." And you can see from the top of the hill, you can see. There we are. A large sort of maybe 7 foot tall, white furred creature has now appeared at the top of the hill overlooking this descent down to you. And it runs forward, grabbing a handful of snow. It sounds like a crunch of a rock in his hand as he lunges forward and launches it in the direction of these dwarves. If you would all be so kind, please roll initiative.
Ooh.
Just rolled off an 18.
Same.
I think we missed it this time. Yeah, runs in. Perfect. So
Just to get everyone in.
this sort of snowy rock projectile goes flying to the first dwarf here. It's a D100 roughly. It does hit. Okay, you watch as the this ball of snow erupts against his face, and you watch there's little rocks in there and just explode out. And he takes a step back for a moment and reels from that attack. A little bit of blood just running from his nose. Right. Who's first? Brother Keck, you are up first.
Woody, very quickly. In terms of me, Twin, and the creature all with 16, what's the creature's dex?
Dex is...
So essentially, does it
What, the
beat my
modifier?
+4? Yeah, so I've got +4. Twin's got +3.
Yeah, +3.
Yeti will go behind you.
Okay, cool. Let's
You
see
have
if I
+4.
get in as well before him.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, so that's snow that
So
hit.
Brother Keck.
Oh, yeah, the snow that hit the dwarf. Did it? What did it do exactly again? Did it just?
It hit into his face and just sort of exploded on impact, sending snow and little rocks in all directions for a moment.
More of like a
It
dazing
looked
sort
like
of thing, or is it more of a? Do we kind of feel like it did look like it did
it
any
looked like
damage?
it did. It looked like he put a little cut across his nose. You can see there's a little bit of blood running down, but other than that, he looks like he's still ready to fight.
Okay. Okay. Probably do then. Let's blast a guiding bolt at it. But I'll move myself into a bit of a better position from here. I'll probably put myself behind the dwarf over there. That's me 30 foot of movement. Yeah, nice guiding bolt.
Everything bold. Yeah, go for it.
17.
17 does hit. Yeah.
14 points of radiant damage, and I believe the next person to take action will have advantage. Next attack roll made against this target before the end of your next turn has advantage.
You see as the how does your guiding bolt look, by the way?
So I think when I did last time, it's like you just kind of see the elements. So in this case, it'll be more of a snow flurry build up, form into a shining white light from the snow crystals, and zip across and kind of whack it in the chest in a similar sort of fashion. So it's like sparkling snow on it now, sparkling all over it.
And it sort of hits into the body, and you see this sort of shimmy of white light just glisten down its body all across from the point of impact to the very ends of his arms and toes. And after it's left, there's these little small areas which just glow up on his body. You see those as juicy looking targets for you, so everyone else can see that.
Is there anything bonus actually I can do? No, that's me.
Mm-hmm. So next up is Jasper.
Okay. Jasper will draw his newly remodeled rapier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give you a try then. And he will go up to the creature and he will make a rapier attack. Advantage for the first attack, and I'll use my defensive flourish if I hit him. So
sorry, how far off the ground is he?
He's up a hill, so he's sort of like 10 foot up from where you guys are standing.
Oh, okay. I was just paying too much attention to the actual terrain of the map. It looks like it's really high.
22 to hit.
Jasper's really tall, so
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
22.
Yeah.
That is a definite hit. And now you're up here as well. You also see
I was going to say
two other much larger Yeti.
the baby.
Mummy and Daddy.
Well, that'd be the case. I roll damage first before I.
Yeah. These two look like 10 compared to your one which you're against. 9 points of damage. Yeah. Beautiful.
10 points of damage because of my defensive flourish. I get +1 to my AC.
You slide forward into the body of this Yeti. You watch as the fur just separates. The pink flesh beneath is suddenly very red as the white of the fur disappears into this crimson. The Yeti yelps in pain and falls back, looking like it's trying to flee from you. Twin.
I get a second attack.
Oh, yep. You get another attack.
Yeah. So I'll follow up with a second rapier stab. It's only 11 to hit.
11 does hit.
Okay. I'm probably really low in this damage at the moment. 8.
Okay. And with this last hit, how do you want to finish off this Yeti?
No, you're killing the baby.
As it turns round, I will sort of stab its back, and it sort of yelps and collapses onto its knees, and I sort of like kick it forwards off my rapier. And I'll just turn around to everyone like, we might have an issue, guys. Mummy and Daddy look rather pissed off.
As
sort of prepare.
As the Yeti falls to your blade, you watch the two larger Yetis behind suddenly pull their shoulders back, chests out, and throw their heads up and just you hear this weird sort of guttural noise issuing from them, and they turn and they start to advance on you. These guys in there as well. So they will now be. But they look like they're about to start charging down the hill at you. Twin.
Okay. So as Jasper just killed the baby, I would have just seen the one of the adults in the distance. I'm just going to use my longbow. It's quite a bit away. So 17 to hit.
17. Which one are you going for?
This one back here.
17 does hit.
Did that go? Yeah. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Cool.
Ooh. Very nice. You release your arrow and you watch as it thuds into the side of this Yeti just above its hip, and you watch as it buckles under the impact for a moment, grabbing at it with one of his hands, and it just looks furious and just rage in its face. You see that it has these large ears sort of protruding off to the side, and these curled horns which sort of curl around at the top of his head, but its face is bare of any fur, and you can see its face is contorted into a look of rage, eyes narrowed at you, and they almost look black. The eyes, there's like a little, it's all black except for a little speck of yellow in the center, and it's got these long, and obviously at the ends of its arms, these very furry arms with these large claws, and he just throws his arms and hands back and just grits at his teeth, snarl. Was there anything else you wanted to do?
Yeah, I'm going to do it again.
Do it again.
My second attack. Yep. Ooh, that's 13 to hit.
13 does hit.
Oh. You roll it?
So your damage?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. My laptop's having other thoughts about it. Come on. No, I don't want to highlight click. Click
You're
it.
up next.
Right, I'm just going to do the other one. There we go. So 10.
10 points. Yeah, another successful hit. Yaris slammed into its thumb. You can see the white there starting to not be quite so white anymore. Was there anything else she would like?
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, I'll run up towards Jasper. That's just a second person up there, so he's not there on his own and potentially going to get pounced on by two Yetis.
Okay.
And am I able to draw out my swords after I've got
I'll
the
let you do
Jasper?
that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you release your arrows, and as you run up, you sling the bow across your back, and at the same time pull out both blades.
Yeah. Wicked.
As you, no problem. Yeah. Romok.
Yeah, so I am going to grip great sword in both hands. And I'm gonna Run as far as my distance will allow, which puts me about there.
Mhm.
Okay, very similar stance. I'm going to take kind of a defensive stance in front of the dwarves. Get myself closer to Jasper. And can't get close enough to them at the moment, so I will prepare Searing Smite on Astrafall.
Okay.
And just the blade just ignites in a flare of flame.
Okay. One of the dwarves, because I did forget to roll them, would have gone before you as well. Was there anything else which you wanted to do before that?
No, I've still got my action, but I think I'll just hold my action in case the Yetis charge.
Mm-hmm. So the dwarf here at the back, as you're doing this, is going to run across here to the base of this stump, which is sort of leaning up against the cliffside. And he's going to take aim with his crossbow, and he's going to fire at this guy. Yeah. And you watch as this one does. Oh no, it does. This one just misses. It just sinks into the snow just beside him. You watch as the dwarf sort of curses. Says something in dwarvish you can't quite tell. And you watch as he starts to reload his crossbow. Locke, over to you.
Right. I've realised most of my water-themed spells are also kind of like ice-themed spells, which kind of means that most of them might not hurt 'em. So I'm gonna move up to here.
You have not encountered a Yeti before, so no.
No, I know, but it's also the environment in which they live in.
Mhm. I mean, your intelligence would be able to suggest that.
Can I see this one okay?
There are a number of people in front of you, and they are uphill. Yeti, however, is quite large, so you'll be able to see the top.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try shoot an arrow at it, looking up, firing over at the top of its head. I'm gonna roll a hit. 3rd level. 22.
22 does hit.
Cool. So I miss. Okay. So it takes 13 d4 damage. Acid. And then at the end of its next turn, it takes 2d4 as well.
Okay.
I'll just roll it now, just so that I don't forget. But it'll take 5 at the end of its turn.
Locke releases this vivid green arrow, which just shoots across just over the head of everybody, just past you, the side of you, Romak, and you watch as it slams into this this Yeti and just covers half its upper torso. It's slimy acid. What else did you say you were doing? Sorry, Locke?
I think that's it. I think that's all I've got. I just moved up.
Perfect. Let's go. Over to you.
Okay. If I was to move here, would I be able to hit the farther back Yeti, or does the cliff face kind of prevent that?
Not from there, no.
Okay, but I can get this one.
You can still see that one yet.
Yep. Okay, fantastic. In that case, I'm going to fire Scorching Ray at 3rd level. Where'd it go? Okay. So it's 4 rays of it.
4 rays. And these are auto hits, are they? Or is this the 16? Oh, yeah, here we are. 16 to hit. 21. Yep. 17.
Oh, didn't get the 4th.
All of them
Oh, sorry, did get okay. All of them hit. Okay.
All your damage.
Okay, so the damage is 11, 7, 8. Oops, I think I rolled the damage one too many times. So the first four, 11, 7, that's 18, then 26, then 35 fire damage.
Okay. You watch as Hezekiah unleashes 1, 2, 3, 4 of these bursts of flame over towards the Yeti, and you watch the flames hit its body, and the flames themselves just start to roll across the fur, curling up and disappearing as it burns. The Yeti throws its head back and screams in absolute agony as it drops to the ground. He looks incredibly encouraged by the fact you brought down 2 of the Yetis, and he goes, "The boy's making quick work. We'll leave some for me." And he's going to push forwards. He's going to rush all the way to here. And he looks like he is ready to go. And the whole time he throws his axe up, swings it round above his head, and he's just shouting, "Here I come back, boy!" But that's all he can do because he had to do double movement in order to get that. Here's the Yeti turn. Yeti sees him coming, and immediately, just as he arrives there, he's going to slash out with a double attack. See if he sees his Constitution save. Start. He was very lucky there. He succeeds in that. So you watch as he just arrives there, the Yeti slouches down slightly and bringing his face so he's looking directly at the dwarf in the face. And you see the dwarf as he's just reaching up to him, shakes his head for a moment, shakes off something, just in time for the Yeti to make 2 attacks. Following up, the first one hits. Okay. Yeah. So he swipes down across at the dwarf as he runs up, and you watch as a little bit of blood splashes out on the snow around him. Dwarf manages to sidestep the second blow as it comes in, just in time. Over to you, brother Heck.
Okay. So 30 feet of movement, which I think was by Romok. I might go close to the cliff actually. Okay, yeah, I'll put a sacred flame towards him, which is a dex save.
Dex.
15, dex save
Got a-
15.
He failed.
Okay, he takes 16 points of damage.
Damn. Very.
Uh,
And this is actual flame, is this?
um,
No,
it's radiant damage. Everything will be radiant from me. It's kind of more like, again, you kind of probably see the snow almost turning to a white flame and licking around him.
No, that's fine. Perfect. It looks like it's taken a very nice hit there from you.
I think that's it again for me. That's all I can really do.
Jasper, back to you.
Okay, dokie. Right. Seeing that this other one's probably a little bit too far away for me to get to with my little legs, I'll move up a little bit.
Mhm.
And then I will sort of put my palm to my forehead a minute. It looks like I'm concentrating, and then this force just seems to shimmer around my hand, and I will shoot off a psychic lance at the creature. So I need a DC 15 intelligence save.
Okay. DC 15, did you say?
Yes.
Failed.
Okay, he takes. I can actually roll some decent damage. 26 points of damage. And he is incapacitated until the start of my next turn.
Really? So you watch as suddenly this Yeti throws its forward hands up to its head, grasping around its eyes, horns, and he drops to his knees, just shaking his whole upper body and his head back and forward as he screams in pain. It's a horrible noise. Is there anything else, Jasper?
That is going to be it for now, yeah.
Twin.
Okay, as I just watched the dwarf just run past me, hell bent in attacking this, I'm just gonna run as well and attack it and try and kill it before he can, just to piss him off.
Yeah.
So I'll do my flurry of sword swipes. First one a 10.
10 does not hit.
Second's a 14.
That does hit.
8.
Damage. Okay, yeah.
And then going for my... Oh, piss off. Another 10. Oh, I'm taking this sword back. This is cursed. He sold me a dodgy sword.
So this one does hit. When he's incapacitated, actually, does that make
No, unfortunately not. It just means he can't take reactions or actions.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you watch as you do hit him with the rapier in the first one, but then you bring in the second attack. It just glances off.
Baby.
Was there anything
Okay.
else you wanted to do?
I don't think there's anything else I can do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to go on one more hit, and it's fucking end going to be dead. So I'm not going to waste an action surge on it. No, yeah, that's me.
Okay. So Overrun has now reloaded his crossbow. He looks up and he has a big smile on his face. Ulrich, we've got him. And you were worried this was going to be a problem. And just as he says that, there's a thudding above his head and a great bellowing noise, louder than you've heard before. And I keep doing this thing where I drop everything into the map layer rather than token line.
I just thought you were doing it for suspense.
No.
And above his head is a. What is it?
A shadow suddenly crosses his form as above him a huge form jumps off from the edge of the cliffside, landing on top of him. A
Oh my
great
God.
shot. Snow slams. Another noise as another huge form comes barreling around the top, much larger than these other yetis that you've faced. Two huge creatures drop down and slam into the ground.
Oh my god, we've literally killed a baby, a teenager, and now mum and dad are pissed off.
Lord and all their children.
Grandparents next.
The first, you do the damage.
It's a generational thing.
You watch as he's absolutely crumpled, and you watch as a massive amount of blood just splats the ground next to him. You can see just under the foot of this creature, the dwarf has got his hand sticking out, and he's still holding onto the crossbow. It looks like he's trembling, but still seems to be alive. He's taken a massive hit there. But that is where we're going to call it for the night.
Oh shit, what a cliffhanger.
Oh. Dun dun dun.
Cliff jumper. Yeah, I'm hanging on no cliff.
Cliffhanger, yeah, almost
Okay.
literally.
Fine, we got this. Warlock can become a monkey. Like fire with fire.
But you can see that these yetis are visibly different. They're not quite as covered in fur as the other ones. I'll give you that just before we go. They look similar to the other yetis. The other yetis look like they're smaller versions, not quite as developed as these larger, much more muscular, ferocious creatures, which are now towering sort of 15 foot up in the air. Probably even more than that.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall, guys.
Yeah, they're like 15 to 20.
Well, the dwarf knows that, how hard they fall.
Yeah.
He does. Right. It's 11:30. Yeah, I wanted to skip through a bit of this before we brought it. So, yeah, we'll pick up on the next game and see what happens. Fine, guys.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. Great game, guys.
Lovely.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, that was good fun.
Sure, yeah.
Good night.
Got shouted at by some dwarves. got
Have
time
a,
off.
have a nice. Don't caught up by the clock change tomorrow or tonight. All right. See everyone.
Cheers, guys.
See you later.
Good night.
Fair.
I got